Hola, my bitches. Hey, guys. Welcome to a brand new video. Today, I'm joined with the one, the only Tessa from Mama's Geeky. Hey, girl.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm so glad we finally got this all worked out.
Finally, we have been literally. I discovered you. I think it was during Julie and the Phantoms.
Yeah,
And I
it was.
remember, yeah, and I remember you reacted to, was it Unsaid Emily? I think it was. There was like a reaction to like some of the music, the
Hmm.
songs. I'm like, okay, this girl's cool. And I think we ended up like following each other from that. So Julian Phantom just did wonders for us, like,
I'm still annoyed that they canceled it, but that could be a whole nother video.
oh, the way we could rant about that. That's like it's a whole nother, it's a whole nother thing. Oh my
I
God.
was in shock. Like real quick, like 2 minutes. I was completely shocked because I was like, I know there is a following for this show, so this makes zero sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm mad. I'm annoyed.
Like, they waited
That's
like a
another
year
whole
and a
thing.
half to like say anything. I was like, hello.
I was like, they're secretly filming, and all of a sudden they're going to be like, haha, here's season two.
Yeah,
And then
if
they
only,
they
if
didn't.
only they're like, nah. Netflix was like, sorry. They should have just done this anyway.
Yeah,
It's a whole nother video that we could
a
do.
whole other video.
Whole nother
But
one.
yes.
But so we have been trying to collab for ages, and always like shit gets in the way, like life happens. And finally, the one thing that could bring us together for the special occasion is the Morbius movie that came out
Oh.
last week.
Oh, this poor movie. Oh, it was delayed for what, like years. And
Mm.
then and you're all everyone thinks, oh, it's because of the pandemic. Maybe there were other reasons this thing was delayed. I don't know.
Shit script, like, like, look, I
Everything.
literally like I don't really drag movies a lot. I try to always like see the positives, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, like if I enjoy it, like I enjoyed and like screw what anyone else thinks. But this one, I was like, I had me for like the
Yeah.
first like 5-10 minutes. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, and then downhill
Yeah. Well,
real
it's
quick.
funny because I'm the exact same way. I always try to think of the positive in anything. I'm like, okay, but I can see how someone could like this part or someone could enjoy this. And I even got a lot of comments on my video review on my channel that were like, oh, if Tessa said she didn't like it and
Yeah.
there wasn't really anything good about it, and it's a Marvel movie,
Mm.
that's bad. Because Marvel's like always been my I mean, listen, Marvel is my
Yeah.
jam. Marvel is my jam. I mean,
Yeah.
Marvel's my jam.
Yep.
So I was like, people are like, if she can't find really anything good about this movie, we're in trouble, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I tried to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't even like I go back and I'm just like, I'm so glad I didn't pay money to watch that movie. Like
I paid money
I'm good. Well, condolences to you, honey.
for
Um,
three of us because I had to pay for my kids too,
yeah.
plus popcorn and soda. It was
What could have been a great night ended up just being. It's disappointing, because it's just like it was hyped up for so long,
yeah.
and I don't. I know it's like in association with Marvel, but like because it's like a Sony movie, I'm just like it's not really part of the MCU. Like it's fine, like whatever. Like they're
Right.
gonna like differentiate the two because like there is a big difference. But see,
Yes.
I enjoyed the Venom movies. I thought they were fun.
No, me too. I love the Venom.
Okay,
Like
oh
for
thank
their
God. Thank God.
so I really enjoy them. And that's what I said to people. I was like, this is coming from someone who really like has an absolute blast with the Venom movies.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
because
Same.
that's Tom Hardy. That's a buddy comedy. Like the two, it's a romantic comedy between Venom and
Yeah,
Eddie. Let's be honest here. That's
literally.
exactly what it is. And I love it. So I'm so glad you're on the same page. This is perfect. Because I was like,
Yeah.
Venom movies aren't bad. They're entertaining. They're fun.
Literally, like I can't even I think maybe I enjoyed the first one more, but the second one was fun. Like I
Yes,
enjoyed both.
exactly.
But because I think it's because I love Venom as like an anti-hero. Like I just think he's just so much fun. And then with Tom Hardy, they just play off each other so well. So I like,
Mm-hmm.
I love them. Like I could just rewatch them like all the time. Like I love those movies. That's why I was like, okay, Sony might have something going for them. And then Morbius happened. I was like, yeah, never mind. Poor Jared Leto just has failure movie after. He just
I know,
crashes.
I was like, I mean, and Oh, I mean, okay. So like I just watched We Crashed, right? Which is that documentary about WeWork that he's in. And he's okay in that. He's decent in that.
Yeah.
But it's like between like House of Gucci, which I couldn't that was my lowest rated movie, I think, besides Cinderella, of last year. You know what I mean? And I'm like, but he's a good, the problem is he's a good actor. He's a method actor. Like he's good. But I don't know. His choices over the last few years have not helped his career. I don't think. Yeah,
it really hasn't. It's like, okay, like he's not a bad actor, but like, but yeah. I think I found this movie really generic, really just like, like even, and you know what even had me cringing? I'm like, I know they do it in all the movies. You know when they have like the shirtless scene, like, you know, he becomes, you know, the vampire, and then like
that was like the one good part of the movie. No,
even that couldn't save it for me. Okay, it says even that couldn't save it. I was just like, okay.
It was a nice scene though. It was nice.
It was. I was like, hello. It had me for like 30 seconds, and I'm like, okay, I'm gone.
Like he's like 50, and I was like, dang, like he looks really good for 50.
Literally. And like because I know they always do those shirtless scenes with the guys, you know, with the men in like any kind of movie. They have to have that token shirtless scene in like like they have to. And like I'm always waiting for it because I'm like, okay, he looks really like, you know, he's really like sick, skinny, whatever. Like he's gonna become, you know, new. And like it just I was like, okay, like I don't know, just because I already started hating the movie. I just hated everything that happened after. I was just like, nah, I can't. What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? I was like,
no. Listen, the one scene for me, and already I was like miserable, right? But then the one scene where I was like, what is happening is that Matt Smith when he's like dancing and like getting dressed. I was like, what is this? And even my daughter, she looks over at me, she goes, that was weird when that scene ended. And I was like, yeah. I don't know what that scene was, why it was there. Like, I guess he was like happy he didn't have to use crutches anymore. Like, I don't know what the point of that was, but it was very weird. I don't know. Was that part weird for you?
Yeah, it was. I was like, it didn't fit with the movie. Like, it wasn't like a funny movie at all. But then that happened. I'm like, people were laughing. It was like awkward laughter. It was like, like what? Like I was like, okay, first of all, this is very awkward dancing. Like I love Matt Smith, God bless. But I was just like, he was actually the only kind of not bad part of the movie. I was like, okay, like I like Matt Smith. So it was like he was all right. But like that dancing, I was like, okay. It didn't make sense. Like I was like, what's happening? Like didn't make sense in that movie. I was like, okay, that was just random. Like
his whole
breaking commission. Like what's happening?
I know. Well, the whole thing is he's like, I totally agree. He's the only thing that's like somewhat decent in this whole hot mess of a movie. But even his character goes from like goes to villain so quickly without any like real reasoning to me. Like I get it, I guess. And then what does he try to say? He says like, the way he explains it was so weird. Like, well, we've been near death. Now it's their turn to be near death. I'm like, well, they're not near death. You literally just killed them all. So they're actually dead.
Oh, it didn't make any, because he was nice in the flashback.
Yeah.
Like he was like, you know, I was like, sir, what are you doing? I was like, okay. And you know what also got me? You know, in the when they're in, I think it was in the interrogation scene with Morbius and like the cop.
I know exactly what you're gonna say. Go ahead and say it.
And his face like changes like while he's like, and they don't even react. I'm like, did y'all not see that?
No, and then the way he explains it is the worst line in history when he goes, well, I'm hungry and you guys won't like me when I'm hungry.
Like,
no, like, I was like, that is awful.
Like, who says that? I was like, what's happening?
I'm like, you're not Hulk. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to, you won't like me when I'm angry, but it didn't work and it was dumb and it was cringy. And I was like, did he literally read those lines? Like he looked at that script and went, oh, this is a good line. I'm going to say it. Cause I would have been like, I'm not saying that. How about I say something else?
Like who looks at this? I question, because I'm just like, who, you know, you have this finished script. Who looks at it and says this is going to be a good movie? Like, are we desperate? Like, I think Sony's desperate to get their little universe in motion. They're just like throwing shit to like make things happen. I'm like, it's not
right. Well, the other thing too is I'm feeling like the starting script had to be so different and the movie because it's so cut up where you feel like you're missing literal like acts of the movie. Like I'm like, I feel like we got Act 1, we got about 2 seconds of Act 2, and then we were in Act 3, and then it ended. And you were like, wait, what just happened?
It ended. I felt like it ended so I thought the movie was actually really short, I think. And then like it ended really like abruptly. I was like, oh, is that it? I was literally like, oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, okay. I was like,
what? Well, because he like kills his girlfriend or sucks her blood or whatever, and then like kills his best friend, and then you're like, and then it's like, and I'm over, and you're just like, wait, can we have a second to process what just went down? Like, and then we get the mid-credit scene. It made me so mad.
I do not claim that energy. I don't claim those what? See, so okay. So I think I knew that Michael Keaton was going to be in it because it was in the trailers. Like
I think that he was supposed to actually be in it.
Yeah,
and they were like, we're just going to make this an end credit because.
Yeah, there was an article that I looked at yesterday, and it had like so many different scenes that were cut from the trailer that didn't make it into the final, like, you know, the final thing. But like, yeah, Michael Keaton was like supposed to be, I think, like at least like had a bigger part in the movie.
Yeah, and I was expecting like recruiting him.
Yeah, like I was expecting him to like show up at some point. I'm like, okay, cool. And then he didn't turn up for the whole movie. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, did I fall asleep? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I actually
could have been possible. Yeah, exactly.
I literally fell asleep for like 5 minutes in the movie though, and that says a lot. If I fall asleep, if I like, you know, doze off, like, girl, that just tells you. But I then the mid credits happened. I'm like, oh my god, that was so bad.
Well, the thing that makes me so angry, like it really makes me mad, that is not how the spell worked. Everyone got sucked into Tom Holland's universe, which is not this one. And then guess what? They left. So how come he can just get teleported to this universe and then never leave because he's there? The second credit scene shows that he's still there.
Literally, that's how I was so confused. I was like, why are we bringing him? Why? Because I'm like, it brought him everyone to Tom's universe, not the other way around. So I was like, and then it
didn't make sense.
Right. And then the other one where like Morbius is in the car and like, you know, he stops him. The worst line when he's like, we should team up or something. He's like, oh, intriguing. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's not, who says that? That's not gonna be your answer. And then he's also like against this Spider-Man or something. And you're like, what does this have to do with anything? We've seen him this whole movie. For all we know, Spider-Man doesn't exist because you erased every single thing that could possibly allude to him in this entire movie.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why are they teaming up against Spider-Man? And intriguing. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Would you say yes, no, maybe? Intriguing. Who says
it was? And he delivered it so badly. I was like, oh my god, it was. I was really, and like the whole movie, like there was no he was like the anti-hero. Like, you know, he saved his, you know, he tried to stop his best friend, whatever. Like, where in the movie was he like kind of wanting to team up against Spider-Man, or like he's a villain?
Right.
Like, where did I saw nothing of that? I'm like, that's just totally random. He would want to team up with the Vulture. Like,
they had to have cut stuff out. They had to, because first of all, in the trailer, they had that whole thing with Spider-Man and it said murderer and it was like that whole thing.
Yeah.
So there must have been some storyline where Spider-Man was somewhere, maybe in the background, something was going, they had to have had a conversation about him, because why are they now all of a sudden talking about him where it makes no sense? And the fact that the director, before it came out, was talking about the end credit scenes on Twitter shows you how bad they knew it was, because he was like justifying them. I don't know if you saw that. He was all like, oh, we already know that the multiverse is there, but this, first of all, not how it works. Second of all, thanks for spoiling the end credit of your movie before it's even out. Like,
I can't.
It just makes me think, like, was he hoping like, well, there's a tie to the multiverse, please go see my movie so that you will see the tie to the multiverse. That I did wrong, by the way. Yeah. Like, I don't know. And the CGI was like you're talking about when he switches his face to the vampire or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, every time that kind of happened, it would remind me of like Angel and Buffy from the 90s, you know,
Oh
when
my
like
God, dead.
all of a sudden they would like wrinkle their nose because they were angry and they'd be like, look like a vampire for half a
Yeah.
second. That's what it reminded me of. I was
Buffy
like,
Buffy did a better job than this. Like, let's be honest. Like,
well, yeah, it did,
and the
which said
punches.
something because it was from the 90s. So
Yeah, yeah, literally.
Practical makeup sometimes does wonders, guys. Maybe go for practical effects.
Sometimes they just focus too much on CGI, and I'm just like, no.
And the problem was, I feel like they tried to, like, why is he just talking? Then he'll be like a vampire for half a second, like you said, and then go back to it, and people don't care. Number one, it doesn't bother them at all.
Notices, like, you did not see that. Like, your man just face just changed. Like, you didn't see that.
Like he just got teeth and he's got like
yeah,
vampire face. And then can we talk about how like this whole girlfriend thing, right? His whole love, that was a hot mess because it never develops. It's like we're coworkers and friends and now we're making out on top of a roof and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
After he killed like 8 people, was it? On the boat with her, which yes, she was passed out for, but she knows that he did it. They didn't ever have a conversation about that before they like start making out. Like she's cool with it, right? She's totally fine that he murdered all these people and sucked their blood enough to like be with him without them ever talking about it. Because I'd be like, why did you murder all those people?
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Let's discuss this. Let's have a conversation before I kiss you.
It made no sense. I was just like, why? Like, I didn't even, I knew, I had a feeling that like she liked him. Like,
yeah.
But it was like very like minimal. And then
it felt very one-sided and very minimal. Like you said, like, oh, I'm kind of intrigued by him. So to go from like that to like making out on the roof and like she's helping him hide and stuff, like totally risking her career and her life for this guy. And then at the end, when Matt Smith's character like starts to like kind of kills her and she's dying and she's all like, drink my blood and make it mean something. That is such a wacky arc that made no sense the whole way through. And I was like, and then he's just like, okay, like he's all sad. And I'm like, but you guys didn't even have this relationship. They didn't explain it well at all.
And then like she bites his lip and like drink like you know drop of blood. I was like, okay. I don't know. I hated that. I was like, I get it, but I'm like, it didn't make any. I'm like, it was like totally random. I'm like, okay, like what? I don't know.
Yeah, well, because then he like drinks her blood to get powerful or whatever. Because then even Matt Smith saw like, you drink the red because it was the red or the blue the whole time, which I was like, are we in the Matrix? Like, what is happening here? So, but then for her to like drink his blood, at first I'm like, oh, she's gonna turn into a vampire. But then like he drinks all her blood, and I'm like, so probably not. Is she gonna? Were they trying to set it up for her to like show up as a vampire in the next one?
That's what I thought she was gonna like save him or something like in the final battle or whatever, and like she was gonna like show up and he'd be like, "What the fuck? Like, I can do that." Like, but I'm like, you would think this is what I was thinking as he's like become like a vampire kind, like you know, and I'm like, you would think, wouldn't he wonder, can I turn people into vampires? Like,
that would be my first thought.
Personally. Yeah, like would it dawn on him? Because like if she's dying, wouldn't he think maybe I can save her? But he didn't even like. No, it was nothing, none of that. Like nothing. I'm like, wouldn't it cross your mind to wonder, can you turn other people?
Right.
Like without the serum, like I was like, well, you know, the bat thing. Like I was like, I would have thought, I'm like, oh, maybe I can turn people into, you know, save them, or like, I was like, is it like Vampire Diaries where like the blood can heal them? Probably not. But like, I don't know. We didn't really get.
Yeah, you would think something. There's got to be something else. And when he's all like, I will say the one time I laughed out loud, and it wasn't really a laugh. It was more like a ha ha. was when he did the whole thing. When he did that thing, when he was like pretended to be burned by the sun. I was like, okay, that was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, that
was silly. Like I laughed.
I'll give him that. I was like, I'll give him that. I was like, yeah, that's kind of like, I like that. But that was the only thing.
Right. I was like, okay, all right, I'll take that. And then, speaking of Matt Smith dancing, what was up with after he killed all those people in the subway? He like started dancing around them. That part was weird.
I'm confused. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, they're full having this battle in the subway. People just like walking past, like looking, like they're just like, okay. Like, no one's panicking till like later. Like, they're full like crushing the tiles on the walls and stuff. And they're just walking past, like, oh yeah. Like, what the
I was like, no one's running, screaming, hiding. Like, you watch the Avengers movies, you watch all that stuff. Whenever there's a fight, people are running the heck out of there instead of like watching them. Especially since they're both clearly, you might not know they're vampires, but they're apparating like they're Harry Potter into like these swirls. Like,
yeah, can they see that? Like, none of them were good. You know, can they see when they were doing those? Can they see that? Like,
I would imagine.
I mean,
they didn't act like they could see it, but I feel like they probably could. I feel like, what is happening here? I turn around and leave. Like,
yeah, but like, oh fuck that! Like, I'm running. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I've seen. Have they not watched an action movie or like something or like where like, oh my god, it was so bad.
That was the problem. There was so many bad things about it, and like, I feel really bad. I can't even say, like, I feel like there's a good story in here somewhere, because I don't think there really was a good story in there somewhere. Like, there's so many heavier themes, or even like they could have touched on themes of like, you know, everyone, like, your death is approaching, like people are always, you know, we're living to die, blah 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 blah, like everybody's gonna die. Like, they could have taken some of that stuff with them being sick as kids, and like, there's some themes here. They could have made some substance into this, but that's the problem. They didn't do that. And then they didn't even make it like entertaining, fun. We're going to ignore heavy themes and we're just going to have a fun vampire movie. They didn't do that either.
Yeah.
It was just a mess.
I feel like they tried too hard. Sony is trying, they're becoming DC. They're trying too hard to do too many things.
Yes.
It's like everyone's trying to catch up to Marvel, and like Marvel has set the groundwork for like years and years. Like, you can't just do it in like a few movies and like bam, like you got to set the groundwork first. And I think that because, you know, they've seen the success of Marvel has with their universe, blah blah blah, and then they're taking the opportunity of the multiverse to like incorporate stuff, which is cool. But like,
do it right.
And I think the same writers are doing Madam Web as well.
I know. I saw that.
I'm just like, no, why? Like, that has gotten me less excited. Like, I walked into the movie with a low expectations anyways, but then the bar just like, like all the way. And I'm like, then I found out they'll do the Madam Web. I'm like, oh no. Like, don't do that to me. Like,
well, like, so our screening was the same day as Fantastic Beasts, and there was absolutely no way I could go. So because of that, I paid to see it. I paid to see it. Yay. The first screening, which was at like 4 p.m. So I had to pick my girls up like half an hour early from school. And, you know, with my daughter being like, I wish I had stayed in school instead of going to this. That's never a good thing. And she was like so excited for this movie too. Yeah. And which I thought was surprising, because she's 9 and she saw the first trailer and she wasn't scared. She's like, I want to go see that movie. It looks so good. And I love Marvel. And I actually was excited after the trailers. Like, I was...
The trailer hyped me up. I'm like, oh, this looks like, you know, kind of cool, something different, little, you know, something like Venom, you know, in that universe. Like, it'd be cool. Like, and after, because I enjoyed Venom, I'm like, oh, I might enjoy this, because, like, you know, it's fine. Like, you know, fuck, I like Venom, you know, here we go. But like, it was he really.
And then, can we talk about the guy that gets his throat slit and no blood comes out?
Oh my god! I literally said to my friend who was sitting next to me, I'm like, where's the blood? Like, the throat was literally slashed and there's nothing.
He's like gurgling. You're like, what's he choking on? Clearly not blood, because there is none.
Obviously it's air, Tessa. It's clearly just air, you know, trying to breathe. There's nothing.
The problem is it's PG-13. They could have had some kind of, like, it didn't have to be super gory, but they still could have had blood.
Yeah. I don't know, man. So many things just made me... I was actually so disappointed. I was just like, I'm so glad I went into it with low expectations, because if I went into it with high, I would have been even more disappointed. But I was like, yeah, this is what I thought it would. Like, I had hopes. I'm like, it started off not bad. Like I was like, okay, I'll get on board with this. And then it lost me. I'm like, nah. Like,
well, it was so cut up and disjointed that you felt like you were missing whole parts of a arc for a character or a story. You're just like I said about the like relationship, right, with him and that girl. You're like, how did it get from point A to point B? How did his friend there, Matt Smith, whose name is not Milo, yet they continue to call him Milo, which is stupid and annoying. Also, like, how did he just, I'm not cool with my friend changing my name when I'm a kid and then just sticking with it my whole life. But whatever. So put that aside.
Yeah.
How did he get so evil so quickly? That was weird. And then they're like, Dr. Friend there, he doesn't age at all from like,
literally
over like 30 years.
Yeah, he didn't age. I think they cut a scene with him out because I think he was supposed to be in the movie, because I think there was a part in the trailer that Doctor was in, and so he was supposed to have a bigger part. And then even Tyrese's character was supposed to have a bigger part. I know I heard, I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I heard there had something to do with his arm, or like there was like some mechanical arm or something involved, I think.
Yeah.
I read something like that. I don't know what
you don't hire him. You don't hire Tyrese to be like a secondary
literally
idiot cop who doesn't do anything.
Literally, I was like, you have Tyrese Gibson, like you're not gonna use, like you're gonna cut his scenes, the disrespect, like what?
I don't. And can we talk about the fact that they're police officers, right? And during that interrogation, this just came to my mind. They're like, oh, we don't care that you killed like all those 8 people. They were bad guys anyway. Police officers aren't gonna. Who cares? We can let that slide. You just murdered 8 people brutally, sucked all their blood. But like, who cares? Because they were bad guys. That's not how. Why do you think police are always against vigilantes? They don't care that they're killing bad guys. They don't want them to be killing people.
I agree. Like,
so that didn't make any sense either. It was just like, gosh, and I wanted to enjoy it. Like you said with Venom, I thought there'll be things I'll enjoy. I'll have fun with this movie. Like, I'm not expecting, an Oscar winner. I'm not expecting the best picture of the year.
Yeah.
But like, and it was like, I don't know, so much of it. And Jared Leto, he usually will put so much into a character. I mean, just look at all his characters. Like, he's a wicked method actor, right? Like, you look at like Joker and all this, he'll be so that character, and it's just incredible. And I felt like with this one, he was very like, like he didn't, I don't know if he didn't care as much, or
it didn't feel like there was like emotion really. It was very like monotone throughout the whole thing. Like, oh yeah, like just just vibing, or like not even vibing. It was just like it was like he was like, oh, I'm doing this scene. Okay, I read like he was reading off the script in a way.
Yes. Which I don't know if that was what he was trying to do, or if just they cut all the good. I think that's why I like that scene with him joking about getting burnt by the sun, because like that was the one time we saw like him not just sitting there being like
some sort of emotion from him.
What's happening? I wanted to like it. I wanted to like part of it. And like, I've seen a few people be like, well, no, I really enjoyed it. And I'm like, I'm so happy you could enjoy it. And I think a lot of these people are people that went in with very low, like really low expectations also.
Yeah.
But I even went in, because I saw it after the screenings it was supposed to be. So I knew people who had already seen it, critics and friends and people whose opinions I trust. And they're even like, yeah, it's not good. So in my head, I'm like, I even lowered the bar even more. Yeah. And it's still disappointing.
Literally you and me are the same, because I literally had I had read like a couple of like preview or reviews that I tried not to, but like it just came up. I'm like, oh yeah, from like people who had seen it like a couple of days earlier, and I just saw it was bad, like it wasn't good. And I'm like, look, people say that, but like they said that about Venom, and I enjoyed it, so I was like, I'm gonna, But I'm so glad you love Venom, because I was like, girl, I love that. Anyways, love him. Anyway, that's like, love that. But yeah, I went in, I was like, I knew it was kind of going to be bad. Like, I read it and I was like, okay, that's why I went in with a lot of expectations. And then, it just, and then even a couple of my friends had watched it, and one of them enjoyed it. But like, my friend doesn't really know, like, she doesn't know about the Marvel universe. Like, she just,
she
she doesn't know what we know. So it's like, I wish I had that innocence. I wish. Like
maybe it would have made it better.
maybe I would, because I'm just saying, nah. I just wish I just went in completely blind, not knowing nothing but any other Marvel or Sony movie. Maybe I would have liked it, but I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't have liked it regardless.
It's just so like disjointed and generic and like not good. I don't know how else to describe it.
Yeah, there was no like proper flow to the story. It was kind of like there was no development, like you said. Like there was, it went from one to another, and there was no middle part. It was just kind of point A, point B, middle part's gone. I was like, like no, build up to the love interest, no build up to Matt Smith becoming the villain, like no build up to Morbius maybe wanting to fight Spider-Man, like none of that. And then the credits I laughed. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like people laugh. Yeah. They're like, what is this? They're like,
people
what?
in my theater were like, what is happening? And listen, can we talk about the fact that they rush you into, how often do you have to sit in a Marvel movie and you got to sit through like 5 hours of credits before you get to it? They don't care. They're like, here's a little bit of credits. Here's the mid credit scene. Here's a little bit more credits. Here's the second scene. You guys can leave. Don't even worry about it.
It was so quick. I was like, oh, okay. I thought there was going to be like a third one.
Yes.
Like, if everyone goes on their phones after like, just to see how many, I was like, how many post-credit scenes are there in Morbius? Like everyone's like Googling it because like we have no idea. And like had that one, then had the credits. I'm like, oh, you might be at the end. And then like it did another one. I'm like, oh, okay, that was quick. And I'm like, wait, a third one? Like, I don't know. But I'm like, I'm not sticking around to find out. I'll just read it online if there's another one. Because like, honestly, that's just disappointing. I'm walking out. Like, we watched what we had to. Let's just leave. I was like, no. I was like, even if there is a third one, I'm not going to watch it.
I don't even care. It doesn't matter.
I was like, I'm getting out of here.
I just couldn't believe how quick. I'm like, they never give you both scenes within like, I don't know, definitely less than 5 minutes of the movie ending, probably more like 3. You're just like, oh, bam, there's the credit. Oh, there it is. Yeah. They're just like, just go. Just, we know you want to leave. Just.
Yeah, it's like,
we're so sorry.
They already ruined the credits anyways. Like, like, it's like, just take it in. We're not going to keep you any longer. Like, we've wasted all of your time.
I feel like there has to have been some major stuff they cut out of it. And I don't know if it's because maybe No Way Home changed things, but there had to have been some kind of Spider-Man story. There had to have been that they cut it out.
They had to. They had the whole graffiti of Spider-Man on the wall, I think in the trailer or something. It was like a graffiti thing of Spider-Man. There was like a few things. I think they had like the Oscorp building.
Yeah, they had Oscorp. Because that's when people were like, wait, which one is it? Because you've got like Toby's Spider-Man here and Andrew's Spider-Man. And it makes me think they were like making the trailer and they were like, let's put in fun Easter eggs. And then they didn't realize they were like from all the different universes. So they were like, oh, oops. I don't know.
Like you can't have another, like they can't make another, like have another Spider-Man. Like you can't cast someone else as Spider-Man. You have too many now. Like.
Yeah. And Tom Holland is technically like, yes, he's the MCU, but he's technically a Sony character.
Tom's, unless I bring like Miles into it, which would be interesting. I will be Loki down for some more.
But I don't want Sony touching Miles. Like, no. I want Miles to be good. So let's let Marvel take.
Yeah, no, literally though, because like Into the Spider-Verse, I love that fucking movie. But like,
I'm so excited for the next one.
Oh my god,
soon.
That's one of my like most like I need to watch it. Like I'm just like I'm most anticipated. I'm so excited for that.
And it's going to be a part 1, which means they're going to end on like a massive cliffhanger.
I love it. I love cliffhangers like when they do shit like that. But I'm like, I need the next one immediately. Like,
yeah, because that's like with. Well, exactly. Because like with Marvel, when they give the screeners, like I got the first 4 episodes of Moon Knight, and then the way episode 4 ends, I'm like, I have to wait 5 weeks for the next one. Ooh. Most people have to wait like 1 week. I have to wait like 5. This is killing me inside. Yeah.
Just be watching when it comes out again, just to like relive it.
I do. I am. I'm watching them every week because I'm like, there's no way I can sit through this. And then because I have a love-hate relationship with cliffhangers because I do love them, but then I'm like, I need to know what happens
It's
next.
when street. I feel like with us when we were growing up, like we got used to like the whole week by week, watching the commercials. That's
Yes.
and then have a big cliffhanger and we had to wait. Now with streaming, we're not, it's like, oh, we get the episodes like straight away, whatever. Like, they bring a release all at once. So like, oh yeah, whatever, but like they're just really like, I'm like, girl, I can't, I can't, I want to wait, but like also I don't want to wait. Especially when it's like a movie,
Right.
it's like just
Well, yeah, because it's gonna be years.
When Infinity War when it ended, I was like, that's it. Like, what the fuck? I was like, no way. I was losing my mind. I was losing my shit. I was like,
Yeah.
are you kidding? Like, did this happen? I was like, I'm dead. Like, give me the next one immediately. I'm like, I needed the next one, like, immediately.
I was at the world premiere of it in LA, which was amazing because you're there with like all the celebrities and stuff, everyone who made the movie, which is awesome. But at the same time, like I was, first of all, I looked a hot mess because I had been sobbing like crazy. I'm like, oh great, now I'm gonna go like talk to these celebrities. My face is all red and puffy. But I was so like everyone, it was silent. And usually at the end of a premiere, everyone like cheers and claps because everyone there is the people who made the movie. And so they're like very excited to celebrate. It was like dead silence in the theater for like a minute. I think people were just like, hold on. Like, I need to take this in. What just happened?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a whole, that's probably one of the most massive cliffhangers that I think we've ever had.
I think so. Yeah, I could imagine because I remember people in my theater were like, what?
Yeah.
Like I think I can't remember who floated away first, or who like, I can't remember who it was first, but I was like, wait, what? And then like happened to like some other was it
who is first? Is it Bucky?
It could have been Bucky because I love Bucky's my love of my life and I fucking died. I was like, what? Excuse me, boy. No, it was. And then when Peter, like when it was Peter's turn, everyone was like, oh no, I didn't want to go there because I'm like, everyone's like, no, everyone's like, no way. Like everyone's like, I'm like, no. I was 40. It was love a good cry, but like, fuck, that hurt. But
well, because he could feel it coming because the spider sense is like dealing with him for so long, and you're just like, no,
don't make me relive it.
I know. Every time I can't even like, I can't watch that movie without sobbing, even though I know like how it ends. It's still like,
that just shows you how good the Marvel movies are
compared to Morbius, where I'm like,
literally when I watched Moon Knight when it came out, I'm like, thank God I have some good content after Morbius. I'm like, thank God something like, thank you Marvel. Like I just needed something to just like, I was like, thank God.
Yes.
What is because storytelling? Thank you, Moon Knight.
Right. Well, I'm like, listen, I cry at everything. I'm super emotional, right?
Yeah.
That's just me. That's how I am. And I don't care. I love it and I embrace it. And that's me. I cry at everything.
Yeah.
And the fact that his like girlfriend or whatever she was and best friend like died. And I was like, says something. Like in Morbius, I'm like, he just sucked his girlfriend's blood and then killed his best friend. And I was like, who cares? Like, can we end this movie? Oh, good. Yeah. It's just going to end like that.
We're just like, we're all tired at this point. I'm just like, I was literally thinking, I'm like, I have to get up really early for work tomorrow. Can we just like hey, like, and I'm always like, when it's like a Sony Marvel Rocky and I'm always there, but like this one was like, oh my God, it was painful to get through it. I was just like, can we just get there? I'm just like, oh my God, I'm tired. I'm done. Like, get me out of here.
Well, the fact that it's only what, like an hour and 40 minutes or an hour and 45. And I looked at my watch several times. That's not good.
No, I think it was like an hour and a half, maybe. Because I remember it.
I don't even know.
I think it started. Well, for me, the movie started around like 6:30 ish, and then like it finished just after like 8. And I'm like, oh, that was early. I thought it would go on for like 20 minutes or something, but I was like, damn. I think obviously because I was like, how the movie ends when he goes to his face and like, den, and he cuts off. I'm like, oh, like, is that it? And I was like, oh.
I know. You would think it's gonna go to another scene or something, and then it's just like, oh, it's over. And then the credit, what was that, like a PowerPoint from like the 80s? Like, what was that whole like light spot? Like, I don't know. I was like, who made these credits? Like, I could do that very easily on my computer.
I can't. I'm not. It was movies is a terrible, and I hate dragging movies because I'm always like, people worked hard to like do, to make these
I
movies. They
know.
work hard, but some movies.
These people didn't work hard. There's no way these people worked hard.
Like, yeah, that's it. It's like I felt like it was the first draft of the movie. It was like the first draft out of like
Yeah.
5 different options that they had. But like, yeah, like they cut so much out. I was just like,
Yeah. And they were, I feel like they eventually just went, this will be fine. This is good enough.
yeah,
Like they can't,
like
there's no way.
how do you you sit there and watch the final cut? How do you sit there and think that was good? Like, unless they had like a deadline or like whatever, like they were just tired enough, but like, yeah, this is fine. Like,
I think they were like, we're good. We're done. I'm done with this movie.
maybe that
I don't
maybe
want anything.
even their fault that they had to cut things. Maybe it was like the Sony made them cut things. I don't know what happened, but
Right, because it's possible it conflicted with No Way Home, because this was supposed to come out like 2-3 years. This was supposed to come out in like
that's true, actually.
summer of 2020, I think, right?
I think so.
So it's possible No Way Home messed with stuff, and they were like, well, now because we had this with Spider-Man and this, and they were probably like, whatever, we'll just cut it out and then not replace it with anything. We'll just take out these major scenes and stick it back together and be like, here you go. There's a movie.
It's like all the scenes, they just put like sticky tape over each, like, transition to the next, and just, it was like sticky tape. Like, it's fine. Like, it's like a storyboard. They just pin things. Yeah, it's fine. Like, no worries. Nah.
I know. Like, even so, like some of the action was cool looking and like kind of cool, but again, they dumbed it down where they're like taking blood out, or like the CGI is like off. And the scene where they're going down into the subway, like down the stairs, you can like clearly tell when they're using like body doubles and stunt people versus like the actors. It's like they didn't care to clean it up. They were just like, there you go.
Yeah, and like it sucks because like after watching Batman and you're just like, oh my god, like you just like one of the best movies, and then you go to this, it's just like, what best movie, worst movie? Like,
I know.
Oh,
and I always love a comic book movie. Like like again, like with Venom, I'm always like, guys, but it's fun. Like just go in and watch it and have a blast.
I will never understand the hate for Venom. I fucking love it. I will stand by this till the day I die. Venom's fun. Like you can't take it serious. Like you just have to sit there. I know, because I think maybe because also, as I said, I actually love Venom as the anti-hero. Like he's one of my favorite. So I love him. And like I love Tom Hardy, and it's just their dynamic works. That's what I love about it. But like it's just so much fun to watch. Like you can't take it serious. You just have a good time. Like it's a nice little stress relief from like the real world, like I love it. But
like whenever I see it on TV, I'll stop and watch it. Anytime if I'm flipping through the channels and it's on, I stop and watch it, and I laugh out loud. I've seen the movie probably at least 20 times.
Yeah.
And I still laugh at like dumb stuff. I'm like, this is funny. And with Morbius, it was just like I thought there would be some of that in there. And then there wasn't any. Just that one little and then no, I'm not that kind of vampire. And I was like,
yeah.
That was the one time I laughed.
Like,
That was it.
Yeah, I feel like you owe the movie just one laugh, Like
right. That was it. That was the one I gave it.
That was it. That's the review. Awkward laughed one time. That's it. That's my review.
Although there was a lot of stuff I could have laughed at, but wouldn't have been because it was funny. The dancing,
terrible. The dancing was it reminded me of when like Voldemort hugged Draco in the final Harry Potter movie. It was like that kind of awkward. I'm like,
you're just like, ew.
Like, what is this? Like,
I don't like this. I don't like the way this is making me feel.
Like, was it supposed to be awkward? Like, I don't know if.
I don't know what the point of it was. It was like a solid 2 minutes of him dancing around while he was getting dressed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why?
I'm like, is that supposed to be a blooper? Did y'all leave it in by accident? Like, what happened? Like, it's probably a blooper. They probably left it in. Yeah, to anyone wanting,
It was a good movie.
yeah, it's not a good movie. Like, and we watch a lot, as you know, we watch a lot of movies, and like, oh, I always like, I always, I trust your reviews as well, because I'm like, you and I like pretty much like we have, you know, we're the same. Like, we know what's, you know, we're the same, you know, we're the same interests, whatever. So I'm like, I was excited to see what you thought about it when you were like, it's incredibly bad. I'm like, yep, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I'm like,
I think it's incredibly bad. And then I laughed harder than I did at the movie at all while I was writing that tweet, because I was like, I'm proud of myself for that one. That was pretty good.
I was like, you thought it was incredible. I'm like, oh, wait, incredibly bad. It's fine. It's fine. Had me for the first time.
You're like, oh no, who is she? Forget it. We're never collaborating. I can't. He doesn't know what a good movie is. No. I know we do. We usually are on the same page too. So it makes me so happy that you like Venom, because I know too many people who don't. And I'm like, you guys don't like fun. Like,
I know it's just such a fun movie. Like, I love it. I want a third one, low key. I want a third one. I think they will be doing one.
I think there will be. Because enough people have fun with it that they're like, and clearly Sony doesn't care. What they gave us Morbius. So.
No, literally.
They just don't care.
My only one thing is, do not put the same writers for Venom.
Oh, I know.
Listen, like the same writers that they did Morbius. Like, don't have the same one.
Yeah. Well, it's like you said about like Madame Web. Like, I was getting excited about that movie, and now I'm like not at all excited for it.
Yeah, it really dampened the mood. I was like, oh, because someone pointed it out on Twitter, and I looked it up to make sure if it was legit, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, it's the same price. I'm like, oh, that made me less excited. And I'm like, I'm hoping Morbius was like a one-off, because it got edited so much, and like maybe it was like a one-off, you know, maybe it wasn't.
That's what I'm hoping.
But if they wrote the line, you know, when what do you say? Oh, intriguing. I'm like, if they wrote that, I'm
not. And you won't like me when I'm hungry.
Why? Like, why have a Snickers, sir? Like, why? No, if they're
awful.
Morbius.
I was like, they did not just do that, and like no one laughed in the theater when they said that. I think everyone was kind of like,
nobody laughed.
Just say that?
The only time really everyone was like, haha, was the sunlight thing, but that, nobody. There was like nothing, and I'm like, that just says all you need to know. Like,
my whole theater was like, we're good. Okay, bye. Like, everyone's standing up, like they're standing up watching the end credit scenes, which again says something. Like, they're like, I'm ready to go. I have my coat on. I have my bag. Like, can we watch this so that I can leave?
Literally, everyone was already walking out. Like, because obviously, like with Sony, like I wouldn't like stay till the end. Well, it depends. But then obviously they already had the 2 credits straight away, because I was literally Googling how many are there, because I knew there would be one, but I didn't know if there would be one. So I was like, everyone's literally on their phones Googling, is there, like, how many is it? And I was like, okay, this I say 2. And then I'm like, maybe we'll get to the end. And then, because I'm like, where was Michael Keaton? Like, he wasn't in there. Like, I'm like, was like a Mandela effect or something? Like, I was stressed. I'm like, am I crazy?
Might have just zoned out and totally missed it. That was the weird part.
Maybe I fell asleep and eat.
I'm just like, why do they have him? It's just like with Tyrese, the way they cut all like his stuff up. Why would they put him in this? Vulture, literally, like the big tie of like, this is Vulture, this is cool. It's the same Vulture. Like, they made a big deal like after the trailers came out. Yes, this is the same Vulture. You're gonna see him in the movie. We didn't see him in the movie. We saw him in 2 seconds in the end credit, and it was dumb.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It was. Morbius was a choice. It was a bad choice.
There's lots of choices in that movie. There's a whole lot of them. Not many of them good.
Least, that's probably my least favorite, like, Sony Marvel movie. I wouldn't even want to call it a Marvel movie, because it's a Sony movie. Like, I wouldn't even want to like put Marvel. I know it was in association, but like, I remember some girl came out in the cinema and she was like, oh, that was such a bad Marvel movie. And I'm like, girl, it was Sony. Like, there was
Please no, it's not Marvel.
I'm like, Marvel would never, honey. Listen,
Kevin Feige is gonna be like, what did they do? I am not associated. This was not me. This is not on my vision board.
Yeah.
This is not. No.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is not Marvel. I'm like, this is Sony. It's fine, but Even the other, like, I told you, the other Sony movies I enjoyed, but this one, nah, was terrible. We'll never watch it again. Probably my least favorite.
Yeah,
Super
it was awful.
movie. Bad. 0 stars.
Oh yeah.
1 star.
I mean, I even, and I don't love a lot of the like zero stars. I gave it 1, but I was like being nice about giving it 1.
Yeah,
but
1 for the sunlight joke. That's
1 for the sunlight joke, and like the fact that Matt Smith tried really hard, and he was clearly having fun, like he was having a blast. But other than that, yeah, it's not. I don't know what they were doing. I don't know why. I don't know how they fix this. I don't think they do. I think they just ignore it and pretend it didn't exist. But like even like the early DC stuff, I don't like. And I'm even like, I would rather go watch like Batman versus Superman like 100 times than watch this movie again. And I didn't really like Batman versus Superman. So
yeah, I remember I didn't really like it either. I think I only liked Wonder Woman appearing on my queen. Like I love what she came.
Yes.
That was about it, I think. I mean, like Henry Cavill was nice to look at. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like that's about
that mustache CGI was about the same as the CGI we get in Morbius.
That mustache was oh my god.
Like, could we just had Superman with a mustache? Or how about he just shaves it and grows it back? Like, how long does it take him to grow a mustache? It can't be that long.
Like
I don't know.
They have the you know the CGI to do it properly. I could have done it properly, you know. That's some choice. Thank God Marvel is just on top of their game, you know. I'm just saying, and I'm so excited for Doctor Strange. I'm going for Scarlet Witch, obviously.
Yes,
for her. We're all going for her.
I'm excited for her to be like a villain. You know, she's gonna be. I'm excited for that. Like some people are like, she's not the villain. She's totally gonna be a villain. Like she's gonna be against him a little bit, I think, at least for a little while before. And I'm excited for it because. Listen, in the comics, she kind of is a villain at times. And I love dark. I'm a villains girl anyway. Like the villains are like my favorite.
Me too. Yeah, I feel that.
And I know she can unleash like, oh, I can't wait.
Elizabeth Olsen coming for us. I'm literally going to see her. Like, I love Doctor Strange, but like Elizabeth Olsen is like love of my life. I'm just like, I support Scarlet Witch in everything she does. Her rights and her wrongs, I don't care.
Yeah, no, exactly. And now we've got her like that outfit oh boy, she is the fire with that. I was so excited when we got that up and I was like, oh my God, look at her. She's so pretty. She's so, it's my first hot toy that I ever ordered. I had to order the hot toy of her in that costume because I'm like, oh man, she looks so good. And I've gotten to meet her and she is like the nicest human being in the entire world. Just so you know, imagine. She's so sweet. She said hi to like everyone personally in the room. And she's amazing.
Oh, what a queen! I love her. Oh my God,
I know she's incredible.
I'm excited.
Incredible.
Kill me. She's gonna kill me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited.
I want a solo movie of her. I don't just need it. I think
we could get.
But I need a, you know.
It could happen. I think it could happen. She's supposedly signed a contract for like a lot more. I think.
Good, as she should. They cannot have her not in it. Like she is the best thing that's ever happened to Marvel. I mean, one of. Because I'm biased.
Yes.
She's my favorite. So what can I say?
No, she's incredible. And I remember because like from the comics, I remember when she first got introduced and I was trying to tell people like, no, wait till you see like what she can do. Like Wanda Maximoff, she can like mess them. I mean, she can literally whisper words and change everything. You know, she's that powerful. So I really hope we get some kind of House of M or reverse House of M or something. She's got a long history long future ahead of her.
I love how she's just a little recurring character now. She's like one of the biggest, like everyone's favorite character. As she should. Oh, she's
exactly. So it's like finally people understand how incredible she is.
Yeah, like I think I love to be obviously before WandaVision. I was always a fan of Scarlet Witch, and then like obviously WandaVision happened, and like everyone was like realizing how great she is. I'm like, thank you. This is what she deserves. Like her range, oh my God, her emotion, like everything. There's nothing bad I can say about her. That's it.
I know. We'll have to talk about Doctor Strange once it comes out.
Definitely. We'll be having a lot to say. I'm so excited for that. Well,
Me
Tessa,
too.
that wraps up our collab about Morbius. Well, honestly, like, I could rant with you because, like, honestly, who better us to rant about this really bad movie? I mean,
I feel bad for people who haven't seen it yet and are gonna see it. I'm so sorry for you. If you're gonna watch Morbius, I apologize.
This is the only movie I
all
would
of Marvel.
say you can just download it or like stream it. Like, you don't have to pay money.
You could just read the synopsis online. And it'll be fine.
No, literally, that will probably be a better experience than actually seeing the movie.
And then you'll probably be like, I'm confused. How do we get from here to here? Yeah, we don't know, actually. We have no idea.
Literally, though, just save yourself trouble and don't. You can just literally read the post-credit scene on the wiki and you'll be fine. Like, that's all you need to know. Like, it's fine.
And it's probably going to mean nothing because it's not how the spell works. So they're probably going to forget that it even happened in the first place. So
exactly.
You're probably fine.
Yeah, so one star out of 5 we're giving it for trying, but
for trying, for Matt Smith just having fun, having an absolute blast, dancing for no reason.
They're just like, let's keep
for shirtless Jared Leto.
Let's
give shirtless
eye candy for like 10 seconds. I was like,
I know. I would have taken a 2-minute scene of him versus this 2-minute scene of Matt Smith dancing.
Like, he should have just been shirtless the whole movie, and then
might have been better.
Blood, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'll be, I would keep my attention a little bit longer,
Exactly.
But that's just. Oh, well, Tessa, thank you so much for joining. This was fucking hilarious. I'm so glad we got to chat. We'll be definitely doing some more at some point, whenever when the stars align again. But I appreciate you taking the time. But guys, also our collab video. So you can check out Tessa's YouTube or Twitter, everything. I'll leave all the links in the description box below. And that wraps it up. So till next time.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad we got to rant about this awful movie together.
I know, literally. Honestly, no one else better to rant about it with. So, guys, that's it from us. Enjoy your day, your week, whatever. And I'll see you for the next one. Ciao for now. Bye, guys.
Bye.